What if the real reason you can't change your life is because your mind keeps winning every argument? He wasn't lazy. He wasn't stupid. He was trapped inside his own thoughts. One habit, one excuse, one tomorrow at a time, until life forced him to face the truth. This is not a story about talent. It's a story about discipline, and the moment a teenage boy learned how to control his mind before it destroyed his future. Once upon a time, in a quiet town in the United States, there lived a teenage boy named Nate. He was 17, smart, creative, and full of potential, but constantly losing battles nobody could see. His enemy wasn't school or money. It was his mind. Nate overthought everything. He woke up with plans, but his thoughts whispered excuses. You're tired. Start later. You'll fail anyway. Why try? One more video won't hurt. Nate's mother worked long shifts. His father wasn't around much, and Nate tried to be strong, but inside he felt weak. He wasn't failing because he didn't know what to do. He was failing because he couldn't control himself long enough to do it. At school, Nate looked normal. Quiet smile, hoodie, phone in hand. But his grades fell like sand through fingers. He missed homework, avoided studying, and kept delaying everything important. His friends joked about life, wasting hours after class. And Nate went along because it felt easier than being alone. At night, he would stare at the ceiling, promising himself, tomorrow I'll change. But tomorrow always became another day of scrolling, another day of quitting early, another day of self-hate. The worst part wasn't failing tests, it was failing his own promises. He started believing a dangerous lie. Maybe I'm just not disciplined. Maybe I'm not built for success. One cold morning, Nate missed a major interview for a part-time job, an opportunity he truly needed. He had set alarms. He even placed his phone across the room. But when the alarm rang, his mind spoke softly. 5 more minutes. He closed his eyes. When he woke up again, it was too late. Panic hit like a punch. He rushed outside, but the bus had gone. His breath fogged in the air as he ran, heart racing. But the interview time was already over. Later, he received a short message. We chose another candidate. Nate sat on the sidewalk near a small park, shaking, not from the cold, but from regret. He realized the truth. Nobody ruined his life, except his undisciplined mind. If this emotional story is helping you learn English through powerful life lessons, subscribe to English Story Academy for emotional, interesting, and unforgettable motivational stories. That evening, Nate went to the park again, not to relax, but to punish himself with silence. He sat alone on a bench, staring at people walking their dogs. Couples laughing, kids running freely. He felt like life was moving forward without him. That's when he noticed an older man nearby, sweeping fallen leaves. The man looked ordinary, simple jacket, tired hands, calm eyes. Nate didn't know why, but he spoke. How do people stay disciplined? He asked, voice low. The man paused, leaned on the broom, and said something Nate never forgot. Your mind is like a wild animal. If you feed it comfort, it grows stronger. If you train it with discipline, it becomes your protector. Nate frowned. The man continued. Discipline isn't motivation. Discipline is obeying what you decided, especially when your feelings beg you to quit. Nate went home and did something different. He didn't make a giant plan. He made rules. Small ones. Clear ones. He wrote them on paper and taped them near his bed. 1. Wake up and stand up immediately. 2. Phone stays away until one task is done. 3. Study for 20 minutes, no matter what. The first week felt painful. His body resisted. His mind screamed for comfort. Some days he failed. He reached for his phone. He procrastinated. He got distracted. But now he didn't collapse into shame. He returned to the rules. Every time his mind said stop, he said, not today. Slowly, something changed. His self-control grew. Teachers noticed he was turning work in. His eyes looked clearer. His confidence didn't come from success. It came from keeping promises to himself. Months later, Nate stood in the same park with a notebook in his hand, reading his old rules. He remembered the boy who used to beg for motivation, and realized he had become someone new. A boy who could act even without motivation. His grades improved. He got a job later and actually showed up early. His friendships changed. He stopped sitting with people who dragged him backward. And one quiet morning, Nate woke up before his alarm, sat at his desk, and started working without thinking. He smiled, not because life was perfect, but because for the first time, his mind was no longer his enemy. He finally understood the hardest lesson. When you discipline your mind, your life follows. Moral of the story, your mind will choose comfort, unless you train it to choose growth. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. If this story inspired you, Subscribe to English Story Academy for emotional, motivational stories that help you learn English and grow stronger every day.